Hey guys. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a reading on, I was debating. I actually picked out all the cards, crystals, what I was gonna use, everything, got everything ready. And then I sat down here at my desk and I said, okay, Spirit, what are we doing? And so what we're gonna do is just how this person feels about you, okay? Whatever person that you have a romantic interest in, how that person actually feels about you, how they feel about you as a person, and how they feel about you emotionally, okay? And then we're gonna get some oracle cards, which I think we're actually, so I'm gonna plan on, might not work out that way, but I'm planning on using these oracle cards to start out to see how your person sees you and like a little bit more in depth on your connection with this person. And then we're going to get some tarot, okay? So pile 1, here we have the Blooming Cat Tarot with the clear quartz crystal. And then pile 2 is the Cosmic Slumber Tarot, and this is just a piece of amethyst. Okay, and then crystal amethyst. This is the Muse Tarot, and this is, I think this is actually a piece of amethyst as well. I think it's like a slate piece. It's really neat looking. You can see all the different layers on the side. Well, you might not can, but I can. Okay, so pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. Timestamps will be down below, and I'll see you at your pile. Hey, pile 1. Okay, so if you chose the Blooming Cat Tarot and the clear quartz crystal, then this is going to be your reading, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to put the tarot right here aside. And yes, I moved my desk around a little bit from the intro because then it might be overwhelming in the camera, but I don't even care. These flowers are freaking amazing, and I never get to have flowers like these where I live because they don't have one. A friend of mine went out of town and they brought them back for me, and I wanted to use them for this reading. And yeah, they're amazing. They're English roses, you know. And anyway, so I moved it around so y'all could get a better look, because it would just be a shame if y'all couldn't see them all the way. Okay, so what we're gonna do first is I'm gonna pull some of these oracle cards here, and we're gonna see how this person actually sees you right off the bat, okay? And then we're gonna pull some of these oracle cards, and those are gonna tell us a little bit more about this connection. So first, we're gonna find out how this person sees you out of these, okay? So, you've got to be kidding me. Okay, they say use these. Oh, good grief, what was that? They said to use these for how this person sees you, and then to use those ones for this connection. So, alrighty. I sure love it when that happens. Already starting to lose my voice. Here we go. Okay, so these are going to be for how this person sees you. Excuse me. How does this person see Collins? 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 Okay, let's see what we got here. Ooh, you got one of the fun ones I like. Okay. I'm gonna take the bottom of the deck too, but let's go ahead and pull these out. Good grief. Never mind. Okay. So the first card out is Vanishing Mirror. Ego, sublimination. Sorry, I heard something outside my door. So this is the number 58, which added up is the number 13, which together is the number 4. So that's about that stability, right? So this person sees you as someone that is able to recognize things within yourself that are ego-based. Like they see you as being able to be someone that can, oh, I just saw 333 on the timer there, which is about, 3 is about growth. So they see you as someone that is grown enough in your spiritual journey here, and I am getting that, by the way. I am feeling that you are on some sort of spiritual journey here, and this person recognizes that, and they recognize how you have the ability to just look at yourself and be like, know when you are in your ego state of mind, and being able to recognize that and own up to it. Like they see you as being able to do that. And I feel like that's inspiring to this person, right? Okay. And then we have Garden of Venus. Guys, rest and renewal. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with this card. Look at this card. Look at this card. It matches the flowers I have. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so there's a lot pertaining to transformation here, I feel, that this person's recognizing with you. I feel like this connection between you and them at some point was or is still secretive. I mean, guys, the roses that are down here in the corner are the same type of roses that I have here, and they're pink. Look at that. That is so crazy. Okay, sorry. So there's a heart hanging here from the top, and it's in a snail shell. And, oh, good grief, my dogs. I'm sorry. Just 1 second. Okay, I'm sorry about that. They just, when they want in now. Okay, so this person sees you as being someone they have slowly grown in love with. I know I'm kind of jumping the gun on that, but that's just what I feel. They feel like you have your heart out in the open. And this has been something that's been a transformation for you. This is not something that was easy for you. Like this, they definitely see you on this journey of being able to find yourself here. And they see you, they see you as, it's inspiring, and it's overall, it's just a beautiful like feeling of admiration. That's what I'm feeling, admiration. But this person feels a whole lot more for you here than they're wanting to admit to. Because of this, there's a fox down here that's asleep, and that haven't brought those emotions out in the open yet. This fox is asleep here, see? So the fox is about that deception, and I feel like what they're deceiving here is their feelings for you. They're keeping it secret, and they're not ready to come out into the open yet because this fox is still asleep. And this card says the Garden of Venus, which Venus, you know, is about that love and rest and renewal. So I feel like this person's trying to just take a break and kind of reset. If they've kind of pulled back away from you recently, this is why. Also, I know this is about how your person sees you in these cards, but I also want to point out your person might actually be experiencing some sort of ego death. And that's because of being able to see that in you and recognize that in you, that you went through that, like this mirror. They're starting to kind of do that. It's kind of like jump-started their growth, if that makes sense. Okay? There's a lot more going on here in this card, but I feel like we'll pull more out as we go. It's also the number 25, which, okay, getting ahead of myself. 25, if it can go two different ways. It could be the number 3, which is about that growth, right? That growth of that love, like we talked about. Or it could be the number 7, which is about that reflection or that alignment. You know, waiting to move things forward. And I feel like this person's just taking a break right now. And they see you as being someone who knows when to take the rest, who knows when to sit back and heal themselves when they need to. And they feel like, to them, that is extremely rare and extremely beautiful to watch. You as this person be able to give yourself the self-care that you need. That's something that I don't feel like that they have seen much of before. And because of their seeing you like this, it's making them want to do that for themselves. Okay, and then we have, look at that. That was the one that was on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so I'm gonna put that right there, we'll come to it. And then we have Dust Devil. Moving out of stagnation. See, I just said that, wow. Okay, I just got done saying that this was the number 7, which is about reflection, alignment, and also moving things forward. Didn't I say that? So this, they see you, okay, so many things that are just, slow down here. Sorry. Okay. So, they see you as, you've took this rest time, right? You've had this renewal here, right? And now, because of the healing, because this is the number 15, which could be the number 4, which is about that stability, could also be a number 6, which is about that healing, right? That harmony there, that improvement you made because of this rest and renewal that took place. So you're moving out of this, okay? They see you as someone that's moving out of this rest and renewal here that took place because of this. Because you're repairing the body, mind, and soul. You went through this me talks. You may have recently just came out of some sort of tower moment, but you remained steady and true to your heart. And they recognize that. They see that. Even though that storm's still like going on around you, you're still being able to move forward and follow your heart here. You're still being able to move forward and take care of yourself, body, mind, and spirit. You're trying to, there's so much here about growth, and I just realized there's a lot of 5s on these cards. So a lot of changes taking place here. So I feel like there's a lot of changes taking place with you that this person is recognizing and admiring in you. And then there's also a lot of changes that are taking place with this connection with them. And it's because of the way that they have seen you go through something recently that involved some kind of tower moment here where you had to follow your heart, follow your intuition, that inner knowing. And they've seen you kind of go through this in your stride and have a lot of self-love contained throughout this process, which has been, like I said, it's so inspiring to this person that it makes them look at you in a whole new aspect, okay? They're becoming to the point now to where they have disconnected because they're having a hard time holding back their emotions when it comes towards you because of how great they see you, right? And this might have been someone that used to be easily be able to contain their emotions and kind of keep those secret and down, you know, withheld inside of them. And they're now recently, because of this, I feel like they've kind of maybe stepped back their energy from you. And if that's the case, I feel like because of that, they've kind of been able to sit on that for a while, because they feel like it's so intense and intimidating when they're around you, because they definitely have you in a very high light here. And I feel like they did already, but since whatever it was that they've seen you go through, it's even more so now. Like they've just seen you blossom almost. Like they always saw you as a flower, like a beauty and like unique and different. But since this Tower moment here, it's like they've actually got to see you open up and blossom into your authentic self. And that's been so inspiring to them. And also overwhelmingly emotional when it comes to their feelings for you. So if they've stepped away from you, they're trying to cope. They're trying to not suppress their emotions, but understand their emotions. Okay? Because they're having a hard time being able to contain themselves like they used to. Because it's gotten so much stronger since you had that Tower around you. So this is also them moving, I feel like, out of some sort of stagnation in the future, and then very, very near future, and becoming closer with you in a more open and like comfortable way. Okay. So let's get some of these cards, and then we're going to talk about this connection with this person. And then we're going to get some tarot. It's so crazy. If you look at these cards, it's actually, it seems like a timeline here. I want to say this, though. You know, I put this here first, and then I moved it because this was the bottom of the deck energy. But I do feel like it's supposed to be this way. Because technically, so you have that ego death here, right? And then you have that rest and renewal when it pertains to loving yourself here. And I love this card, but I get such a good feeling when I look at this card. And then you go through this repairing, like you have to have the renewal, and now you're going through this repairing stage here of your body, mind, and spirit, and then you start to move out of that stagnation, right? So it's a progression here. Sorry, I'm just counting. I'm looking at the numbers. Okay, so let's see where let's just see where this connection's headed, because we kind of already know now how your person's feeling. So let's see where this connection's headed, Spirit. Where is this connection headed? Where's this connection headed for Paul 1? Their person. Where's this connection headed? Where's this connection headed? Where's this connection headed with this person? Okay. It's just the number I needed there. Okay, so the first card out, oh my gosh. You've got to be freaking kidding me. It's the most bizarre thing. Oh my gosh. That is some crazy stuff, guys. That is some crazy stuff. If you can't see this, it actually says mirror on it. And this card also says mirror. And this card says ego sublimation, right? So it's a breakdown of that ego, like that mirror. A vanishing of that mirror, like it says. And here it says what or who or what is triggering you. And it also says mirror, mirror, mirror. I mean, isn't that amazing? Sorry, it's amazing. I know I get like super excited when the synchronicities pop up. It's very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's validation that I'm headed in the right direction here for you guys. It makes me feel good that I'm doing good by y'all as far as the advice and stuff goes, okay? Anyways, so this is we're going to talk about now this connection here, okay? So mirror. So like I said, this person sees that in you. You almost mirror one another, okay? And they see you as being able to recognize these triggers, and maybe that's something that you've kind of expressed to them or taught them, and they themselves are trying to recognize those things within themselves and that ego self, and when that comes out and the reactions that they have, and that those are actually an alarm going off telling you that that's something that you need to look back and you need to heal, okay? Like they're having that understanding there because of this connection. And then we have, oh my gosh, starseed. What lights you up? So the colors here match, right? Let's go ahead and get them all out. I just want to get them all out. Then we have keepers of the earth. You are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. Ooh, there's a lot of animals on that card, guys. Lots of animals. Lots of strength coming out in that card. Lots of courage and strength. Having a higher view of things. Having a different perspective of things. When it comes to your emotions within inside yourself. And then we have answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? So that's part of that moving out of that stagnation, right? And I do want to say, there are 3 cards here that have girls in them that are kneeling. Which is part of that stagnant energy, right? And this girl right here is in a prayer image. And it's right underneath that repairing the body, mind, and spirit, which I feel like that's part of it here. Is she's taking that time she needs to pray. And if you notice on this card here, there's little bubbles here that have tiny little people in them. And what I'm getting from this here is that it says, you are not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. And it's like, those are the ancestors, right? And here you have ancestors. So this connection is definitely something that is divinely protected, divinely guided for sure. That's what I'm getting, because I said in the beginning, I felt like this was, automatically that this was a spiritual pile. This is a journey here that you and this person are mirroring in one another, okay? And you're going through this ego death here. You're being able, like we talked about, to recognize those triggers so that you know what to heal. And then here you're giving yourself that time that you need in order to go through that healing process. When you go through that healing process and you have that renewal, like this card up here says, when that takes place, you do discover kind of what does light you up. What makes you feel like, see how she's propped here? And she's resting there on her solid foundation, but she's looking out to the beyond, right? As far as all those emotions go, and then what is all out there in the future. And it's like she's sitting there trying to decide what emotionally fulfills her and what's something that she can do in the future to maintain that feeling. And I feel like this is something else, like for the mirror here, that you two are mirroring in one another. But I do feel like that you are ahead of this person. This person looks at you almost like a guide, like a spiritual teacher. And then you come here to Me Talks, and you have Keeper of the Earth. So we kind of talked about this already, but let me point out some key factors here on this card, because there's a lot going on in this card. There's elephants on this card, which is about that strength, right? Then there's lions. What's the name of the female lion? No, I can't even think of it. Lioness. No. Cougar. So, but that signifies to me that courage, okay? And then you have a lot of wings here, and you have eagles. The eagles to me is about that higher perspective, about having that eagle eye point of view, being able to see something in a new light compared to the way that you saw it before, which is a reflection of what comes from this renewal here, and being able to look in the future, or look towards the future, and see what really lights you up emotionally that you can do. So the other thing on here is these two wolves, which the dog signifies that loyalty, right? That loyalty with this person that they feel from you. It's that mutual respect there that they feel from you. And then also the loyalty as far as this journey goes, and as far as that being able to stay loyal to yourself and to your own wants and needs, and be authentic to what you feel on the inside, okay? Just like here we talked about, I told you that even though you've been going through this storm here, and it's still all around you, you've remained strong, and you've remained able to follow your intuition, to follow your heart here. Okay, so you're staying loyal to yourself, and I feel like this person has been able to see everything you're doing and process it and use that as a mirror so that they know what to do and where to go. And they are doing great, and you are both doing great, and you're about to move out of the stagnation period. There may be some grounding work that needs to be done before you move out of the stagnation period, for some of you, I want to say. But what is your soul calling you to do? Also reminds me of what lights you up. So this rest period and renewal period that you went through was meant to be a time for you to be able to really reflect on, like I said, what emotionally fulfilling to you. And down here, when you come out of this stagnation, when you come out of this storm here, you're going to remain true to yourself, and you're going to know that you need to answer this calling that you feel, this desire deep down that you feel, not only towards this person and this person towards you, but towards your purpose, which I feel like this person has a lot to do with. I feel like because of this connection, I feel like you and this person together have a lot of purpose with one another. Like there's a purposeful meaning behind this that I feel like pertains to you both being able to discover your authentic self and discover what your purpose in this life is. Spirit's wanting me to tell you not to lose faith with this person when it comes to the stagnation period that they're on, because there's a lot of things going on here in the background that you're not being able to see. So don't be don't let go, and don't push this person. All you need to do is, I'm not saying that you know, if this person's ghosted you or whatever, something like that, I don't know. You know how, you know, there's so many different words and stuff they use. But anyways, if you feel like that person has done that to you, all I'm saying is just give them a break, okay? Just give them a break. They're going through a balance here. They're trying to balance their self out. They're going through a self-love journey here. And if you remember when you went through that journey and the emotions that came up, and especially when it pertained to this person, how those emotions were so intense, almost to where you couldn't even be in the same room as that person, because you almost didn't just know what to do with yourself. This person is going through something similar to that themselves. So right now, all you need to do is focus on you and focus on your self-love and keep going on this journey, okay? Because your soul's calling here is coming with this out of the stagnation. Your soul's calling here is coming. These cards are so pretty. Isn't this pretty? This is such a good spread, I feel like. Such a good spread. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these over here because I don't want to take them down. And then I'm going to put these right under them so we can pull some, good gravy, pull some tarot. Okay. Okay. Sorry, I have to get everything so exactly lined up perfectly here. Okay, so we're going to pull some tarot and we're going to see what else Spirit wants you to know about this person. So let's talk about, the point of this reading was how this person feels about you. And this person feels the same about you as you feel about them, okay? And it maybe wasn't in the beginning, but they are starting to recognize things within you that they kind of see within themselves, and they're starting to realize what this connection is and what it means to them and what its purpose is and the love that you share with one another. So I keep getting the reminder to emphasize on you not losing faith in this connection. Someone needed to hear that from Spirit here. Do not lose faith in this connection. Like I said, this person maybe have pulled their energy back away from you, but that's okay. You need to keep going. You need to keep going, keep living your life, keep having, your experiences that you're having. This person is doing some work on themselves at this moment, and they don't want to be overly emotional around you or say or do anything around you to cause any kind of anything in this connection. They just don't want to screw it up, okay? That's just what it comes down to. They just don't want to screw it up. And they're trying to still figure it out themselves. So they're withdrawn right now, or they're isolating themselves right now in order to do that. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're doing what they need to do to take care of themselves, to have that self-love there, okay? You keep doing what you're doing. This person and you's energy is connected intensely with one another. And if you have that lack of faith, they're going to feel that. Even if they don't know that it's coming from your energy, they're going to feel that because y'all's energies are connected here. You're connected to each other. And if you're walking around going, oh my gosh, this person is stagnant. This person is isolating themselves. What did I do wrong? If you're experiencing all that stuff, then you're kind of putting that energy out there, and that person's going to feel that, and they're going to start to have the same kind of reaction. Just 1 second. Sorry about that, Paul one. Little one came in. Okay, so let's keep going here. Let's see what else. It's weird how most of these cards came out like this. There was only one I think that came out upright. I mean, flipped over. Oh, I just said flipped over, and this card flipped over in my hand when I said that. Weird. Okay, so let's see what we have here. What else? Oh, look at that, guys. Oh my gosh, look at that. The Four of Wands is at the bottom of the deck. Oh man. Okay. Okay, so let's see what we got here. We have the Three of Wands. So the Three of Wands is about that anticipation for new opportunities, okay? It's about that, the progress here of the dreams that y'all have with one another, okay? Move these up just a hair bit more. I feel like I'm at the living on the edge over here. Okay. And the next one is the King of Swords in reverse. Okay. So that is, okay, so I'm getting something kind of a little different with that. You know, I told you this person is obviously hiding feelings for you. They're not ready to open themselves up to that yet. They're not ready. When they do, I feel like how they're going to do it, they're going to actually bring up your connection first and bring up what it's done for them and what they feel like the purpose is. I feel like that's how they're going to start this out. So with the King of Swords in reverse, it's like they want to make sure that they have consent here from you before they move forward with that, before they open up fully to you. Because they look at you in such a high light that they would never do anything that made you feel uncomfortable, right? So they're trying to do it in a way where they can understand if you will be open to them or not. That way they can have that consent, like your permission to carry on with those feelings. Like they're gonna do this in a way where they're gonna make sure that y'all are on the same page before they express anything, which has to do with these opportunities here. These opportunities. Oh, look at that. And then you have the Knight of Wands. Wow. So this person, guys, this person really wants to treat you really well. Really well. They are really looking out for you and your best interest. They're trying to be very respectful. They see you as someone that they want to be very, sorry, I just don't mean to be like moving around the stuff here, but my incense here was getting close to burning. Okay. So with the Knight of Wands here, so that's that inspired action that they want to take, right? So this is very, okay, let's just keep going. We'll see what I have. Ace of Swords in reverse. The Page of Swords. Holy moly. Okay. This person is fixing to come toward you, dude. They are fixing to come toward you. Okay. So the Three of Wands is the opportunity. The Knight of Swords is the consent. The Knight of Wands is that inspired action. And then you have the Ace of Swords in reverse, which talks about that being stuck with ideas, okay? Overanalyzing or wanting this new beginning, wanting this truth to come out, this mental clarity, but they're still kind of a little bit stuck here on how they're actually going to approach you, how they're going to approach this, how they're going to bring this up to you, okay? And then you have the Page of Swords, which I have to point out, these two cards right here, look, it's literally like this is that new idea that they have to come forward, right? That thirst for knowledge there, right? That inspired action and then that thirst for knowledge. And look at this card. It's literally the same, like the cat's hand, but closer up. Do you see? You see that? Synchronicity. Okay, so what I'm getting from this is that the reason this is blocked right now is because your person's not ready. You know, we talked about this. Your person's, they're in the energy of, there's still healing there going on. There's still discovery there going on. There's still understanding going on. And that's why they pulled back from you like they have. They're not ready to come forward yet and express anything to you. They're trying to be respectful towards you. And right now, they're just kind of overanalyzing the whole situation. They know that they want to take an option, an opportunity to have this inspired action here towards bringing a new clarity here of the overall situation. They want this Four of Wands. That's the basics of this whole entire spread. You're, guys, depending on what this connection is, this is union energy here. This is union energy here. But this person still, okay, these two things are what's holding this person back. Because if these two things were the other way around, there would be a much different story here. Like I said, keep that faith. You know, Spirit keeps pulling that across here. Make sure you keep that faith in this connection, that things are going to flow in a way that they're supposed to flow. Be graceful when it comes to that. Remember who you are. Remember what you are. Remember your value and everything that you've learned. And don't degrade yourself in any sort of way whatsoever because of this person's actions. Because we're so quick to judge someone's actions and that being a reflection of ourselves, when really that's something that person's needing to deal with. And this person is needing to have this isolation to deal with some things so they can kind of understand. They need that inner reflection time, okay? And you know what that's like because you've experienced it before. So these two things, once they can clear these things up, once they can have this more logical understanding of how to approach this and have more of a clear thinking here and not be so, like, because they're very concerned they're going to disrespect you in some kind of way. And they definitely don't want to do that. And this is one of the things that's kind of holding them back from taking an option here with you, taking an opportunity with you. And they definitely don't want to. I also want to point out this cat as well is holding, wow, look at this. Look at this. So this is, okay, so let's do it like this so I can show you guys. This is the cat that has the flower, that's offering that flower. This is a close-up of that offer. And this is the cat that has the offer and the crown. Do you see the crown and the flower on here? So it's like they want to do this. They want to give you this. And this is all about that clear thinking, right? And at the top of the crown, it looks like a butterfly, that transformation. This is going to transform this connection. Be patient with this person. They're trying. I'm sorry. They're just having a hard time finding the words, but they know what they want. Okay? They're having a hard time with this respect. They don't want to disrespect you. They're trying to be strategic here because of that. That's going to fade, okay? That's going to become not as prominent here, where they're going to be able to just have this inspired action to move forward here. And then this Ace of Swords is in reverse because they do feel stuck about that, how they're going to have this idea, how they're going to bring this thing forward. But they have this thirst for knowledge about this overall union and how that plays out. I was just breathing because you have the five of Swords underneath this union here, the Four of Wands, and then you have Judgment under that. And that, okay. So you and this person maybe someone, both of you, y'all's connections just might be out of the normal that society has put on people and connections and relationships, okay? And this person feels that this union between the two of you is going to cause some conflict here. And that you are going to be judged about that, about this union, about this connection. Right? And that's going to cause a withdrawal. And it's causing some stagnation there. And it's a heavy burden because this is how this person sees you. And they see you as this healing and this Queen of Cups. This right here, guys, this right here is exactly how this person sees you in this connection. They see you as this Empress, which is also the number 3, that growth. And then this is the number 3, the 3 of Swords in reverse. The 3 of Swords in reverse is actually all about that need to heal. And then you have the Queen of Cups over here, which is also, to me, the Queen of Cups is so close to the Empress, because the Queen of Cups is that nurturer. She is extremely intuitive. She's very compassionate, and she's healing. She's healing. They see you as this. They see you as this person. The only thing is that they've carried this burden for a long time, right? And they're in stagnant mode right now because of it. They've been withdrawn. They've been stagnantizing. Is that a word? I don't know. But they've withdrawn themselves because they're afraid of this judgment. They're afraid of conflict. But they definitely want this 4 of Wands in this connection. I mean, we can keep going if you want, but this is 7 of Wands in reverse, is overwhelmed. Oh, well, let's take that one for sure. And there's the Ace of Cups. There's that Ace of Cups. That overflow of love. Right? And then you have, under that, guys, is the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, which is about that feeling helpless. And then you have the 5 of Cups, which is about that grief. Okay, there's been a lot of things going on in this connection. Oh, just 1 second. I'm sorry. Okay, so, whew. So this connection for the both of you, until you're able to understand it, until this, I feel like you're almost there. You're almost to this union here. I'm gonna leave that out, actually. You're almost to this union here. And give your person that time. Keep that faith, you know? Keep that faith. It's all gonna work out the way that it's supposed to. You may be a little ahead of this person. You need to remember when you were there, what it was like for you. There's been a lot of spiritual readings that I've gotten lately. And I know some of y'all have commented or DM'd me and told me your stories. And yeah, a lot of your stories, y'all don't know this because y'all don't know, you know, y'all DM me, so I get to hear everybody's. And there's a lot of y'all out there that are on spiritual divine counterpart connections. That's kind of broad, so I don't want to just narrow it down to one thing. Okay, I'll be out in just a minute, okay? Okay, so this is the last thing we're going to get here, and it's just some advice cards for you to move forward here until this person is ready to open up to you in their time. Because they're going through that, and you need to give them that time, just like you give yourself that time. Well, that wanted to come out. I find love everywhere I go. It's all around me. Yeah. Yeah, you're learning that. This person's learning that. You're learning how to look at people completely differently and how to love people differently. Once you go through that self-love journey and you discover how to really like love yourself for who you are and what you've been through and why you've been through that stuff, and you heal past all that stuff, you're able to accept others. And then you start to realize that there's a lot more love around you than what you see. I'm so sorry, it's just going. My voice is just going. Look what came out. I am safe to be my true, authentic self. And you are. And these cards, look at the colors, guys. Come on. You are safe to be your authentic self here. And this person and you together are both that way. And that's one of the things that they like about you so much, is that you and this person can just be yourselves around one another. There is no fakeness there. There's no mask there. Okay, that's not what I was trying to get there, but we'll take it. Oh, they're so pretty. Look, they all match. Okay, and this one has little flowers. That one has 3 flowers. This one has the little faces. That one has the face. Okay, so this one says, my world is a reflection of my thinking. This is another reminder from Spirit about that faith. About that faith. And remember, like I said, do you see the minds, how the two heads are connected here? Remember, this person can feel that energy. You need to stay in that self-love and stay in that faithful energy of this person coming to you when they're ready, okay? Stay in that stability there of knowing that. Have peace with that, okay? And then I believe in myself and my abilities. And with this energy of I believe in myself and my abilities, you're going to be able to bring this person into you. Bring this person towards you. When you're ready and when they're ready. Does that make sense? They're going to come towards you when they feel like the energy is allowing it to happen. But you have to believe in yourself. You have to be true to your authentic self. And you have to be mindful about your thoughts here, okay? And know that you have love all around you, you know? That you find it wherever you go. And then the bottom of the deck here says, I am pure energy. I am pure energy. Wait, what? That's so funny. I said that. That's not what it says. It says, I am just pure magic. I am pure energy. That's weird. Maybe somebody needed to hear that for some reason. That's strange. Okay, anyway, I'm pure magic. And the color blue is about that throat chakra, right? And kind of what I get from, and the color green is that heart, your heart chakra. So what I'm getting from this is that this is this expression that this person's going to bring to you. The way that they feel about you. This is that. And with I am just pure magic, and I said I am just pure energy, maybe signifies to me that this person's energy is going to come towards you. And they're going to communicate from their heart. And it's going to be magical. Okay, pile 2, that's all I have for you. I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it resonated. And I hope to see you again. Thanks. Bye. Hey, pile 2. Okay, so if you chose the Cosmic Slumber Tarot, and this is the Crystal Amethyst Stone, then this is your reading. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put another piece of sage out, because I got to be honest with you guys, whenever I did your reading, whenever I did your actual meditation for your reading here, I mean, heavy energy. Heavy energy. Overwhelmingly so. To the point to where it got up and just grabbed me by the chest so hard that I almost thought about not doing this reading yet and waiting for a while. And look at that. Look at that. I just cut the deck, and we have the Lovers in reverse and the High Priestess. Okay. So, heavy energies. Oops. Actually, what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of do what I did with pile 1 here. It seemed to work out pretty well. So we're going to look into your person and how they're seeing you, how they see you overall, okay? How they feel about you. And I'll be able to tell probably right off the bat, once I pull these cards out, what exactly this person is wanting out of this relationship, out of this connection here, okay? Like, we'll be able to tell what all is going on with this person. I do feel really drained all of a sudden. I feel like you guys are going through some tough emotions here when it comes to this person. Okay. So this right here is going to show me I'm not going to take that. This right here is going to show me how your person sees you, okay? Sorry. This doesn't, well, I was fixing to say if it doesn't flip over, I'll just grab some. Okay. So they want me to take the card off the bottom of the deck. Okay, I heard and the top, and the top, and the top. So we'll do that too. We'll look at those in just a minute. Let's see what we have out. All right, y'all. Okay, first card out was Perfect Storm, number 44. The courage to step into life. So with that High Priestess that popped out, when I cut the deck in the beginning, the High Priestess is about having that psychic wisdom, like a higher perspective, being able to see more clearly than most, being able to have that powerful visions there that come to you. Okay, and she's very in tune with her psychic abilities, okay? And golly, guys, that's the kind of the same thing that I'm getting here with this crow. The crow is about having that higher perspective there. And the number 4 has to do with that stability, that foundation. So I feel the courage to step into life. There's been a huge transformation here, I feel like. A huge transformation with you, okay? Where you have a complete higher perspective over your life from what you did have. And it's because of a storm that took place. It was almost like it says the perfect storm. Everything was set up in order for you to have this awakening into a more powerful understanding and more powerful perspective over you and your life and the control that you have over that stability that you have over that, okay? Which has brought you a lot of courage. And I feel like you're stepping into a new part of your life, a new chapter of your life here. So this is how this person is seeing you, okay? This is kind of similar to pile 1. Okay. Then we have gathering around the power of community. So, okay. This is the number 26, which added together 2 and 6 is 8, which 8 is about that mastery, okay? And that progress that you're making here, taking some sort of action here. So what I'm getting from this is this person sees you as being someone that has now awakened and changed their perspective over their life, over their selves, and now you're becoming more powerful when it comes to a community, okay? And when it comes to enlightening a community. You have mastered a transition period when it comes to others around you. Because of your higher perspective, you're able to bring that with you into the community. This could be just friends, or this could be something that you are doing as far as a creative sense goes, but you're able to bring people out of the darkness into the light so that they themselves can have that same transformation that you have. And this person that you are watching this reading over is seeing all this happen. This is the way that they're seeing you, okay? And then you have overflow, overwhelm, and plenty. This is that feeling that I'm keep feeling here. Is that overwhelmness feeling here that I keep feeling. So what I'm getting from this card here, which 4 plus 3 is 7, which 7's about that reflection. And it's also about moving things forward here. Or being in alignment. It's like you are discovering a new life out of the things that you now have that perspective over, okay? This light right here, this sun right here, and then this water down here, these emotions, and then you have a house right here, which is that stability. So it's almost like you are at an overflow now. You're able to put everything together, and now you're reflecting on that. You're putting your stability in your emotions and your new perspective on things. You're like stabilizing yourself out here. So much so that now that you have stabilized yourself here, that you're able to have that overflow and use that overflow to give to others with this power of community here. Okay? So this is how this person is seeing you. They're seeing you as someone who gives in a way of your wisdom. So let's see what these two cards mean. Okay. Deep quiet, meditation and stillness, the card number 11. And then dances on the 1 foot, balancing act. So I just got done talking about that balance there. And that's the number 9, which is nearing that completion, right? So you're at this point here. And this is a number 11, which is also kind of that balance. And then you have number 44 here. So I feel like balance overall in this reading has a lot to do with what's going on with you and this person. Okay. So you're coming out of this storm here, this perfect storm that set you up to have this new perspective on life. You're being able to bring what you've learned outside into the community here. And that's where your power comes from. That transformation comes from. You being able to help the community here with whatever this storm was that you went through. This overwhelmed and this plenty here is where, like we talked about, that reflection that you're having is causing you to have that stability, that sturdiness there, that structure where you have that overflow of emotions and overflow of new perspective. And you're just kind of sitting reflecting on that. With this deep quiet, meditation and stillness, you are taking, if you notice on this card, I don't know if you can see it, but it's actual person in kind of a shadow, and he has a finger up and he's going like this with his finger. And it's like you are helping to teach this person about meditation and stillness when it comes to your mind. And how when you do that, when you go through that, you're able to have that reflection that you need in order to gain that new perspective on life. And you are balancing this out with this person. You two are balancing this out together. This new life that you're experiencing here. You're finding your balance. You're trying to get back down to both feet here. Okay? So you still kind of have your head in the clouds just a little bit. You don't have both feet on the ground. Spirit's wanting to bring this message that you need to do this as well. You need to have this meditation and be still. There's some things here I feel like that you are not aware of, that you aren't seeing, because you have such an overflow here of this storm and this community and things that have took place here, that you need to have this stillness so that you can have a new clarity here and be able to balance this thing out. When this comes into play and you're able to balance this stuff out, then you're going to be able to have that balance with this person as well. Okay? So this is how that message was different from what I was anticipating here. But this is how this person is seeing you overall in your situation and who you are as a person, okay? They have almost a front row view here of your situation, of your perspective on life. This is so similar to pile 1. Pile 1 was a real spiritual pile. But I feel like you, pile 2, I feel like y'all are more in depth. Y'all are more, really, like, you know, I said you don't have both feet on the ground right now. Y'all are very in the, you know, the 5D world. You're very up there. Okay, so we're going to get some of these cards here. And then these cards are going to tell us about what's going on in this connection here, okay? And then we'll get some tarot to get more in depth. Leap. You go first, the universe will catch you. And look, do you see how she does not have her feet on the ground? She was over here, but her actual physical body, or I'm sorry, her physical body is over here, but her actual like spirit is in the air. So there's that transformation, which is strange because it's right underneath this gathering around, which I said on this gathering around, it's about that community and you putting out that transformation that you had towards the community that's around you so that they can also have, be able to come towards the light, to have that higher perspective as well. So transformation, things are changing on a cellular level. Deep healing is taking place right now. So this, okay, and then you have Answer the Call, which came out in the first reading at the end of the reading. What is your soul calling you to do? And that's part of that overflow, okay? So you have an abundance here. You have this intensity that's surrounding you right now. That's why I'm having such a hard time and I'm just like in my chest. You have this deep intensity that is surrounding you right now. That's why that meditation and stillness is there. And it's going like this, like Spirit's trying to tell you, you've got to meditate. You need that meditation in order to balance this stuff out. Because right now you're in this overflow and your soul is calling you here. Your soul is calling you to do this meditation here so that you can balance yourself out. So as far as this person goes, I feel like this person, because of this perfect storm, because of you having this higher perspective and changing things, having this transformation here, it's caused this person to take a leap. It's caused this person to kind of leap forward into the same understanding that you're in. And they are also having this transformation. This whole connection is going to transform because of this. There's going to be a lot of deep healing that's taking place. I feel it's taking place right now. And because of all that overflow that you're experiencing here, which is why you need to do this meditation to understand how to deal with that, how to balance that out, which is going to cause things to move forward here to near completion. Number 9 is also about intensity. This is going to, it's overflowing because you're not answering the call here. You need to answer your soul's calling here, which has to do with this connection. And if you notice here on this card, in the background, there's a waterfall, and it looks so similar to this palace here that has the waterfalls off of it. Even, I guess we'll take all that. I'm so sorry. It's something stuck in my throat. The bottom of the deck says yes. Just say yes. Okay, so we got 3 cards out. And we're going to go through them like this. Something else I wanted to point out is here on this overflow card, there is a man that's standing in the back that wow. Okay, let me just show this to you because this is kind of crazy. This is not what I was going to say, but it's just now stood out to me. Okay, so this right here, I'm going to try to get you to see it. Right here, if you can see, there's a man there. He's got his arm up and he's holding a little staff looking thing, and it's like a crescent moon. Can you see that? And then that same staff is what she's holding there in this picture. Can you see that? It's like the same exact staff. So what I'm getting from that is that your overflow has been flowing out. Your understanding, your transformation, all the stuff you've been experiencing has been overflowing out and caused this person as well to have this transformation here and deep healing and this higher perspective, because she looks like just like the high priestess in this picture, which the high priestess came out. And so did the lovers in reverse. And at first I thought the lovers in reverse, since this is about a romantic connection, would signify, you know, some kind of a imbalance in a partnership. But actually, the lovers in reverse is about self-love. And with this being this transformation here and all this other stuff that's taking place, this deep healing, I feel like that's what this has to do with, having that higher perspective as far as that self-love goes. And this person has seen you go through these stages here, and they are taking the leap as well. And now they're in the stage of, they're trying to understand what their actual soul is calling them to do in this life. Wait, postpone, pause, or say no. So this is strange because at the bottom of the deck we have yes, just say yes. And here it says wait, postpone, pause, say no, and then no. So you actually have no and yes here. That's interesting. This also reminds me of the Tower, and it talks about the storm over here, the perfect storm, right? That new higher perspective, seeing your life in a different light. So what I'm getting here with this wait, postpone, pause, say no, is that this is part of this deep quiet. Because this is the number 11, right? And there's double on this card here. Does that make sense? So I feel like these are how these are supposed to go here. Okay. They're telling me to pull this card off the top for this last one, but we'll do that in just a second. I have to make some room. They're persistent. Okay, so the deep quiet here, the meditation and stillness, this says wait, postpone, pause, be still. These are the same exact thing. And like I said, the number 11, it looks the same, does it not? Like you have two of the same sides here, and then the storm in the middle. So like I was gonna say with this person here with this handout, it's like Spirit saying, no, you need to pause, you need to have this stillness, you need to take this time to do this meditation here. So I feel like this connection is maybe on a pause. It may be right now stagnant, but it's intentionally being postponed because your person, wow, okay. I just heard there's a storm brewing ahead that y'all are both walking towards, moving towards. Oh, just sorry, pal, too. The little one came running in here. So that's why they're wanting you to stop and take this meditation, take this little bit of a stillness time, take this pause here. Not only because this person needs this time to catch up, needs this time to be able to have this better understanding of what their soul's calling them to do here and how to deal with this overwhelmed feeling of that. But there's more. I hate to tell y'all this. There's more. Not that it's a storm. Okay. This is what I'm hearing. With these lightning bolts here. Not that this storm is going to be a bad storm, okay? This storm is just, these lightning bolts are a signifier of this connection I feel. This connection is going to be like lightning bolts. And there's 4 bright lightning bolts right here, which reminds me of the 4 wands, right? In tarot, so that reminds me of union, which is so strange because pile 1 had the similar thing. So I don't know if this is like a collective energy right now or what, but heavy. So what Spirit's saying here is that you both need to spend some time in this meditation so that your person can catch up and get to where they need to be, so that y'all both can meet one another in this union. So let's see what these are about. Dance with life. Maybe this yes here, okay, this yes card that came out that's at the bottom of the deck here, if you had a question or if you had a sense that you and this person were about to come into union, then I feel like Spirit's kind of giving you that clarification there that yes, this is on the horizon. This is on the horizon. But you need to do this work first, okay? Wow, I just realized that this happened in pile 1. Oh, wow. Pile 1 in their cards, in their oracle up here, they had the mirror, and then right down here, they got another card that said mirror. And look, you guys, dances on 1 foot, dance with life. Do something to change your energy. Balancing act. This is a repetitive message here, and it's so awesome. It's so awesome. I love it when this happens. It's so clarifying for me that I'm giving y'all the message that y'all are meant to hear, which is the same thing I said in pile 1. So this is a double whammy here of Spirit trying to say, you're nearing this completion, okay? You're nearing this union here. It's on the horizon. It's there, but you're going to have to do this deep meditation in order to get that with this person. And you need to do that deep meditation in order to change your energy and balance things out, okay? Dance on 1 foot, dance with life. And these two are very similar as well. These two, it's almost like these two dancers are mirroring each other right here. And this has a lot to do with the emotional aspect of it. I feel like, okay, and let me go ahead and tell you, this is the card that came out, and they wanted me to pull this one. Okay. Whew. I'm so sorry. It's going. My voice is just going. Which I'm getting a lot of the throat chakra off of this card right here. I'm so sorry. Pause that. I gotta clear my throat anyway. Okay, so anyway, Will O' the Wisp, treasures hidden in the shadows, which is again that butterfly. More transformation that's taken place here. And in this transformation, in the middle of it here, it almost looks like a sword in a stone. There's a butterfly above her head, and then there's butterfly here. There's the face there. And then over here is a fairy, and over here is a fairy. There's a lot of signifiers here of union, guys. Underneath that, at the bottom of the other card, still haven't got rid of that thing in my throat. And again, this looks like union to me. These two people on this side, and then the one in the middle is that union. It says, trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? And it comes out underneath this hidden treasures in shadow, hidden treasures in the shadow, which is also the number 8, which is about that mastery, right? Did we talk about that here? I think we did. That might have been pile 1. This is very similar to pile 1. This is also obviously very spiritual connection here. Maybe that's what I'm reading today. Oh man, I'm sorry guys. Okay, anyway, okay, so with this trust the niggle and that hidden treasures in the shadow, I feel like you and this person have both had this overall sense of this energy increase here recently. And okay, so I just heard something here. With this overflow and this, what is your soul calling you to do? These overflow of emotions that you both feel for one another is calling to you. I mean, it's calling to you. And the Spirit's telling you to step inside yourself here and have that deep meditation there and find that stillness so that you can balance this out. Because that feeling that you're feeling is trying to tell you that there are treasures here that are behind the scenes that are taking place here that I feel like you feel on the inside are coming out or about to come out or coming close to that union. Okay? Does that make sense? So with the when I told you, it looks to me, I'm imagining it looks like a sword here and a stone, which reminds me of the Ace of Swords, which also came out in pile 1. But it's about that. The Ace of Swords is about having that breakthrough or that mental clarity there. So with this union, I feel like what's going to come with this union is y'all are going to be able to really balance this connection out and both have this clear understanding of what this connection is and what it means to the two of you. And that's going to give you a great deal of mental clarity here. Y'all are going to come into this union here down the road. It's going to be like lightning strikes. Okay, so let's see here. Let's get some tarot and we'll get a little bit more in depth about what this person's actually thinking here in this connection about moving this thing forward. See where they're at, okay? I still don't know what I'm going to name this, but if pile 3 comes out like you guys, then I can just name it Where Are You At on Your Spiritual Connection? Or how's your divine counterpart, or, you know, something like that. Okay, let's do one more like this and then we'll call it good. Okay, guys, so woo! Lots of energy flowing out here. Cards. I'm gonna keep those together. I'll flip them over whenever I pull up 2 more. Here's one. One more, please. In my lap. Oh, it's the Lovers. Okay. I get excited when I see the Lovers because that's what it means to me. Okay, we have Strength in reverse. So it comes up right next to this. Actually, this is how we're going to do this here. Let me just point out the synchronicities I'm seeing here. Strength in reverse is all about self-doubt, right? Being blocked by fear, not being courageous. If it was upright, it would mean courage. But it's right below here. It came out in the same pile as the courage to step into life. And I just realized this. Stepping into life, the courage to step into life. And then here with this card, we have leap, like stepping off that ledge. You go first, the universe will catch you. So this person is having a little bit of self-doubt here. This is the blocked energy, which is probably why they're needing to meditate. But they're having that little bit of self-doubt there when it comes to how they feel about this connection, or how you feel about this connection, okay? This whole idea of this connection with the two of you. Then you have the Six of Pentacles in reverse, okay? So that talks about having that one way flow of abundance. Do you see how she's tossing it into the air and it's going back into this person's hands over here? So that is, I feel like, part of this imbalance here, okay? And it's underneath the gathering around and right above the transformation of that deep healing. That thing's changing at a cellular level there. So what I'm seeing here is that this person is still going through this process, okay? They're still going through this healing process. They're not, right now, they're not ready to take on the Ace of Swords, to come to you with that clarity, okay? It's in the horizon. This is a pre-look at what's to come so that you can prepare yourself, so that you can really pull in that energy of this coming to you. Spirit's wanting to help you here in this connection. So this person, once again, is blocked here because they're not completed when it comes to their transformation yet. They can't give to you until they have that full-on transformation like you have. Right now, they're still giving to themselves, see? Okay, so we have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse underneath that overflow. And that what is your soul calling you to do here, which is blocked once again. The Seven of Pentacles is about losing faith. It's also about there being impatience there. And I'm getting something pretty crazy with this. So that being said, your person, I feel, okay, hold on a second. There's some confusion going on between the two of y'all, which is probably why you need to meditate. This overflow here, if you notice, and you know how I said on this answer the call, there's also a waterfall in the background here that she's just looking at, but she's just sitting there looking at it. And then it says answer the call. It's like, this is you, because this is supposed to be the way they see you, right? So this is you. You have an overflow here. You're giving to them. It's just like this, Six of Pentacles. You're the one that's giving the one-way flow of abundance there. You're giving to them an overflow. So, and this person is just looking at it in the distance because they don't know what to do with it. It's not that they don't want to offer you the same, it's that they don't know how to offer you the same. But you are in the energy, you're becoming impatient over this, right? There's been a lack of reward for you here. That's what the Seven of Pentacles in reverse is about. And this loss of faith, because you're both reflecting on this. So if you're doing a reflection, it's reflecting on something that was, right? You can't reflect on the future. It hasn't happened yet. So this is something that y'all are reflecting on what was. And you feel as if you are an overflow of emotion and abundance towards this person. And this person feels like they can't give you that. See, in this card, the way, look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at that. Look how similar these cards look. Look at that. Wow, that's so crazy. They're both just sitting here staring off into the distance, almost in the same way. In the same spot on the card. And look, this has the sun of where the clouds are. This has the sun where the clouds are. And I feel like these pentacles, which is that investment that's been made, is this water here, that emotion. that overflow. You feel like you've given an overflow of emotion here, and this person is just sitting there. This is something to do with you not feeling like they've been giving in the same way you've been giving, okay? And you're losing faith. But this person doesn't give the same that you do. And this person might have given to you in their eyes where they feel that it wasn't really reciprocated in the same way. So there's a kind of a miscommunication going on here. I'm going to pull one more card for that. Can you clarify the Six of Pentacles for me? I mean, Seven of Pentacles in reverse, please. Also Seven of Pentacles in reverse here, Spirit. Okay. Yes, yes. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. Sorry, I get really excited. So like I told you, they're having like a loss of faith here because of that. You're having that miscommunication that's taking place. So the Star came out, which is all about those renewed hope, right? Having renewed hope there to clarify the Seven of Pentacles with the Knight in reverse. See on the Star here how she has the water and it's overflowing, right? Just like here, all of this stuff that we've seen. And then here they have all this water, which is also overflowing. It's coming, it's raindrops are coming down, but it's in reverse. So it's like the water's dripping out. And it's like you are here and this person, you are mirroring this here, are both upset and may cry at night over this person, this longing for this person whom you both feel like's not giving each other what they need. Because you're up in this tree and you're looking off in the distance. It's like you're there. They might dream about you a lot, or you might dream about them a lot. And these dreams might be emotional. And you don't need to let go of that, okay? These dreams that you're having is part of where you're able to hold that faith, to hold that hope. Don't lose the faith here, okay? Pile 1 got the same message repetitively. Not to lose the faith in this connection. Like here, treasures hidden in the shadows. There's things going on around here, behind you guys, that y'all aren't seeing. That's why you need to have this meditation and stillness. Justice, which is also the number 11 in tarot. Well, obviously, this is the number 11. This is the number 11. There are so many synchronicities going on in this. And this is, I told you, looks like the Four of Wands, which is the 1111 card, the Four of Wands, the Four Wands. Oh my gosh, wow, this is so crazy. Okay. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. You just can't make this up. And anyone that doesn't believe in this stuff, I mean, come on. This is insane. Okay. Anyways, I'm sorry. I get super pumped when stuff happens like this. So this is very significant. This connection, you and this person, is very significant to, has a much higher purpose here is what I want to say. Okay. So with all the 11s here and needing to wait, postpone, and have that deep meditation in order for y'all to have justice here. Okay. And this card, by the way, is very similar, not only because the number, but to the, see how the building is here, and it's the same on both sides, which kind of looks like that Four of Wands. You have 2 lines here and 2 lines here, and then that truth in the middle, like over here, that sword and that stone that they're holding there, and that balance there. She's got a hold of that scale, that balancing that scale out, which is all about this right here, balancing that energy out so that you can move forward here. This time apart is purposeful, okay, so that you can both come into this justice. This is union energy, guys. This is union energy. 11, 11, 11. Give me a break. I mean, come on. I mean, the synchronicities that I'm seeing here in these 2 cards right here are just mind-blowing. The clouds behind her up here, the clouds on this card right here, Okay. So in order for y'all to have this justice, to be able to have this a natural law take place in this connection, the union to take place in this connection, Spirit is very, very, very much so wants you to understand you need to have this stillness within inside of you, have this deep meditation within inside of you, so that you can have this postpone time for this union in order to get yourself into balance. Because until you get that energy back into balance, this union here won't take place with this person. You need to balance yourself out here, okay? That's what you need to do with the energy that you have. That overflow of energy that you have, instead of worrying about what's going on with this person or having loss of your faith in this connection and what's to come and what this person's doing and not doing for you and all this stuff that's going on in your head. You need to meditate, and so you can balance all that out. Take a deep breath, see the balance, and then the clarity will come. And she's wearing a blindfold because I feel like, it's about that justice. It's about not knowing either side, just there being a mutual understanding. Does that make sense? Which I feel like is what's going on here. Because, this says hidden treasures in the shadow. This is stuff you can't see. I keep saying there's stuff going on here that you can't see. Okay, so let's see what this balance thing is. Wow. Okay, so there's the Tower, which we talked about storm over here, and you having that higher perspective because of a Tower moment, a storm. So this Tower was intentional. There's a lot of threes on this card. Okay, let me show you what I'm seeing. There's 3 lightning bolts here. There's 3 people on this side. There's 3 people on this side, and there's 3 hands here. The number 3, like I said, is all about that growth, right? All about that growth. And when you are able to balance out your dances on one foot balancing act and dance with life here, do something to change your energy. Once you're able to balance yourself out because of this deep meditation that you're going to do, this stillness that you're going to have on what this person's going through, what you're going through, it's just the stillness of knowing that it's going to come to you in the future here. Because of this balancing out here, this is going to cause this growth in this connection, okay? It's going to cause this awakening with this Tower. This unexpected change is going to happen once you get into this balance. Then you have the Lovers, guys. Oh my God, this reading is so awesome. Then you have the Lovers. Guys. So, do I need to even say anything here? Hidden treasures in the shadow. This is the hidden treasure here. Trust that niggling feeling. Trust that feeling that's trying to tell you something. It's trying to tell you that this is going to happen for you. Yes, you have that confirmation here. Yes, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Okay? You just need sorry, I was distracted. See what else comes out, you just need to you'll have this Lovers with this person. You'll have this. It's that choice, it's that harmony, it's that alignment there with this person. You're going to have this. This is what's hidden that you can't see. But in order to gain this, you need to let go of what this person has done and step into this energy of renewed hope, okay? So that this justice can come to you. But you need to do that meditation and have that reflection so that you can balance yourself out. Once you balance yourself out, this person will also come into balance because y'all's energy is mirrored there, right? Once you're both balanced out here, the growth is going to take place. And see how these hands, and see the hand here talking about meditation and being still? It's almost like Spirit's going to come in and tempt this thing over, and it's going to be very unexpected, and it's going to cause this awakening for both of you, and that hidden treasure from all that shadow work that you've done is going to come out. You have this feeling, you know it. You are going to come into alignment here. Whew. Well. But you have to, the union energy is there, right? You have to step into that balance. You have to do that still meditation in order to step into that balance there. Okay? I don't know why I put that there. I'm so like distraught because this reading has been so synchronistic. I have not done a reading, I think, yet that was so synchronistic. Like this one was just one after another. You know it? Okay, they want me to pull a love note for you guys from this person. So let me get these first and then I'll grab them. Let me keep that out. They said, in order for you to help you with that renewed hope, because they feel that this person has, you feel that this person has stepped away from you a little bit. In order for you to have that renewed hope, they want to give you some cards from from your person's higher self, okay? Okay. So let's get some cards for you guys first so that y'all can get some advice here. Let's do that'll work. 2, y'all get 2 more. Okay, so let's see what we got. First card out is, creative energy surges through me and leads me to new and brilliant ideas, which is part of that surge is like that overflow, okay? And part of that new and brilliant ideas that are coming, well, you'll find all that in that meditation, okay? My thoughts become my reality, which is another reminder here that you need to stay in that hopeful energy, because if you're not in that hopeful energy, you're not going to have that reality, that manifestation's not going to play out like you want it to. You can't be doubtful about something in your mind and still want it to happen, because then it's just not going to happen. That's just going to continue on and on and on and on. But if you're hopeful about it and you just know, you have that knowing deep down that it's meant to happen for you, then it will. It will, okay? Slow progress is still progress. I'm doing the best I can. So this is a message almost from your person here. They're wanting you to understand that they are going through that healing. Remember that deep healing? And that's part of the reason that Spirit's wanting you to kind of to meditate and to be still there in that stillness, because with doing that, you're going to understand that person is just going through that healing. And also when you meditate, if your energy is connected to this person during that meditation, whatever you gain from that meditation, you're going to send those vibes to that person, which is going to help them in that healing process, okay? And then you have, I am open and receptive to the abundant flow of prosperity that the universe offers. All my needs and desires are met before I even ask. And that is what I'm talking about that hidden treasures there in the shadows, okay? There's stuff going on here in the background of this connection through Spirit that y'all aren't seeing, that y'all don't see. And that's part of this whole process with you and this person, okay? So let me get a couple of these. You have to be open and receptive to it. And in order to do that, you have to get into that balance, like the moon and the sun here. Balance out that clarity with those emotions that are overflowing. Okay? Okay, so let's see if we can get some cards here on what your person would like to say to you if they could. This is gonna I feel like this is meant to help you have that step into more faith and have that hope, so that you can do that balancing yourself out, so that you can come into this union. Oh, look, guys. My heart is yearning for you. Sometimes I stare at my phone and become stuck. I hope you don't find out that I've been watching your social media, which is part of staring at that phone, huh? Okay. Whoa, did you see that? Please don't hate me for ghosting you. You didn't deserve it. Did I not say that in this reading? Did I not say that in this reading? I'm pretty sure. I hope I did, because I feel like I said it in this reading. It might have been pile 1, but I'm pretty sure it was this reading. Look at that. Now I'm second guessing myself. Let's get one more. Just one more. Okay, one more. Just one more, please. Just one more. I just have one more. Well, okay. They won't even give me more. Oh my gosh, they gave me 4 more. You can have 4. I'm going to show you the bottom of the deck as soon as we see what else is here. But you're going to think it's crazy. So yeah, so their heart is yearning for you. I feel like you're the same. That's why we had that night card come out, you know, like that crying at night, because you feel that loneliness, that longing there. Sometimes I stare at my phone and become stuck. Yeah, I feel like if you have any kind of social media going on, they probably do stare at that. It says right here that that's what they're doing. They might stare at old conversations that y'all have had together. Please don't hate me for ghosting you. You didn't deserve it. Yeah, they didn't just ghost you, okay, like we talked about. They actually went through this process intentionally, because they're trying to pull their energy away from here, because they do feel overwhelmed in this connection. I suck at goodbyes, but this is only goodbye for now. Yeah, so you need to understand that. They didn't ghost you here. They just needed some time to themselves. It goes along with this slow progress is still progress. I'm doing the best I can. They're trying. I've been thinking about how I can fix things between us. Yeah, they're kind of still stuck in that energy of, like we saw there with them, losing hope, because they can't give to you in the way that they would like to give to you, the way that you give to them. Maybe this break is good for a good reason. Maybe this time apart will help us come back together. It definitely will. It definitely will. This time apart is going to help y'all. That's what Spirit keeps insinuating here. You need this time apart to balance yourselves out. We need to talk about everything. And that is that, like the ending of the reading here, your spread, we need to talk about everything, is that ending, closing out, like that sword and that stone, and that balance. You're going to balance, and then that clarity is going to come, okay? That breakthrough. The bottom of the deck, my twin flame, my love. So, yep. Okay. That is all I have for you. That was an awesome reading. I'm so glad that y'all came to this reading so that I could read your cards. Love the synchronicities. Please, if this resonated, let me know. Yeah, because this was awesome. I really enjoyed this a lot, guys. Okay, that's all I have for you. Do that meditation. Sit in that peace of knowing. Have that hope. Don't let go of that hope, okay? Because that union energy is there. All you need to do is do that meditation, do the work, and sit in that knowing, okay? All right, good luck to you guys. Thanks. Bye. Hey, Pal 3. Okay, so if you chose the Muse Tarot and this piece of slate, amethyst slate, I think is what it's called. I could be way off, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I've had it for a while. I don't use it very often. I'm gonna put that right there. It's pretty though. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is, before we pull tarot, I'm just gonna set this aside. I do want to point out though, y'all actually picked the deck that when I pulled these out, I realized after I set them on my desk, these are the same flowers that I have right here. So that's kind of cool. And the same color right here as this one. So anyway, thought that was neat. You might not, I did. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna pull some of these, the Shaman Oracle cards, And this is going to tell me, that was horrible. This is going to tell me how your person is actually currently seeing you, okay? How your person sees you. And I have to be honest with you guys, past two piles were very spiritual connections. So that could be just the overall message that it's wanting to come across today. But actually, I say today, but it's not the same day. It's been a day since I did that pile 1 and pile 2. Sometimes those readings just get so, the energy is just crazy, and so I have to kind of take a break and recoup. But anyway, okay, so these, it's very possible these could be a spiritual pile. Just pointing that out ahead of time here. Okay, so these are going to tell me how your person is seeing you. And then we're going to get the other oracles here, and they're going to tell me how your person is kind of seeing this connection. Now we're going to get tarot, and it's going to tell us some more details about what your person's, maybe their actions are, what they're thinking about doing in this connection. So I'm just going to get, the first card out is Eye of the Needle. Okay. Sorry, just listening here. There may be some conflict going on here, and you feel like you're right in the middle of it. This person sees you right in the middle of it. This person sees you taking action here pertaining to some kind of conflict, involving some kind of clarity. Then we have Empty Well, Time to Replenish. Winter's Dream, the gestation period. Sorry. I just want one more. Can we just have one more? Please? Thank you. Oh man, y'all got my favorite card. Pile 2? Was it pile? I think pile 2 or pile 1 got that same card. Like I said, it's been a day, so I don't really remember for sure. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tune into what I'm seeing here. And this is going to be how your person's seeing you. So keep in mind, this is what your person is when they see you. This is, or think about you. This is what they think about. This could be what they think about as far as what you're going through in this moment, which I feel like is coming out so far in these cards, or the way they just look at you overall. Okay? So the first card that we had out was Eye of the Needle, Intentionality. So what I'm getting from this is kind of like what I already said. Your person sees you as being right in the middle of some conflict. The reason I get the conflict here is because there's 5 needles on here, and the one in the middle is the biggest. This could be pertaining to some kind of union that your person sees you right in the middle of. But there's a lot of clarity that's behind this. There's a lot of clarity that's coming out behind this for them. I feel like for them in the way that you're handling yourself here and being in the middle of this conflict. This is the number 17, which reduced down is the number 6, which is about that healing or that improvement. And if you move it up, it's the number 8, which is about that action or that progress. And I feel like your person sees you as taking the knowledge that you know and having a new perspective when it comes to some sort of conflict dealing with a union, opening up to new clarity there over this conflict that you're in the middle of, and being able to take action when it comes to healing through this conflict here. With this empty well and time to replenish, this person sees you as someone that knows how to reflect onto a situation and use that time to pull out the best from what has happened here with this conflict. This is the number 7. Number 16 is the number 7 added up. And that's about that reflection. It's also about moving things forward. So here's where your person sees you take this action, and then here's where your person sees you moving things forward. As far as you're reflected on what has took place here, and you're ready to move on past that. And you're doing it in a way of taking the time that you need to yourself in order to regain a new understanding about what has took place here. And then here with Winter's Dream, the gestation period is where your person sees you taking the time, freezing, okay, with the thing that she's laying on here is a frozen foundation. And what I'm getting from that is your person sees you as having that reflection here, and then now you're moving on to where you are isolating yourself, okay, in your foundation here, so that you can have that, give yourself that time, because she is, this fairy is actually a snail here. Give yourself that time that you need in order to come out of it with this rest and renewal here with the Garden of Venus. So your person sees you as going through this process here. This right here is the number 9, which talks about that nearing that completion. It also talks about that intensity, okay, because it's so close to the end of that cycle. So what I'm getting from this is that your person sees you as being someone that is intensely trying to focus on your healing from what the conflict that took place and from all the reflection that you gained from that. There's just, I see 2 eyes here. So that signifies to me that higher perspective that you're having over this situation. If you noticed here too, there's a lot of things that with continuous circles. Of course, we have the eye here in the middle. And then here we have the steps that continue into a circle that look like an eye. And then here on the snail is a continued circle. And what I'm getting from that is these are these cycles, okay? This is a cycle that your person is seeing you go through right now, a healing cycle. You've had that higher perspective of that conflict, that clarity that you needed in order to pull yourself out of this situation, in order to take action here. And then here, like I said, you're spending that time reflecting on what has happened and reflecting on the higher perspective that you have over that situation and that cycle that was taking place there. And then here, this is where you're doing that healing work, okay? It's where you're just spending that time in isolation and taking the time, all the time that you need in order to heal from what has took place here. And you are in that stage of having that intense healing that's going on here. I feel like this is something that is happening to you currently, that you're about to come out of. And then here, if you haven't already, you may have recently come out of this stage. And here they see you as someone that is trying to have that rest time and that renewal time to yourself. Kind of reflecting on who you are now outside of what has took place here. So you're sitting now here in this rest period and you're trying to have this renewal of what all you've experienced, the healing that you went through, and how that has changed you as a person and changed your understanding of yourself here. So this person sees you as someone that's very capable, that's very strong, that is very independent, that has an understanding about who they are, what they need to do in situations, and how to heal from those situations. And then someone that takes care of themselves well, someone that has the ability to understand that a lot of things that are put onto them are a reflection of someone else's hurt and pain. And the things that they reflect on others is from their hurt and pain. And they have that understanding there. They have that alignment inside of them where they can recognize these things and have compassion for others and have compassion for themselves. They see you as this person. They see you as someone that is people look to for advice, because they feel like you have a lot of power with your understanding of how things work in life and the movement of life and how we're supposed to learn here. And your person also sees you as someone that's very beautiful. Not just beautiful, I'm not talking about looks here. They do see that, but that's not what they see you as, being someone that is internally beautiful. They see you as a time, okay, what? They see you as a timeless beauty. They also see you as someone that has transformed yourself. Transformed your surroundings as well, as a reflection of all the healing that you've done, as a reflection of all the understanding that you now have. They see you as someone that's not being someone that is deceitful, but someone that is honest and authentic. Someone that you could like to grow things, and you could be very nurturing when it comes to the close ones that are around you, and even strangers. You might have, your intuition might be on point when it comes to understanding people's needs emotionally and being able to recognize when there's an imbalance there on an intuitive level. Whew. There's actually two snails here. This one's pretty large and prominent, you can see that. But this one here on this picture is up here, high. I don't know if you can see that. It's not gonna focus. But there's a heart that's dangling underneath this snail shell. And there's another butterfly. No, I really don't know if you can see this one. But there's another butterfly here. It's like a shadow of a butterfly. So what I'm getting from that is that this person sees you as a slow transformation into becoming your deepest, authentic version of yourself. Wow. It's like you can recognize all these things, all these different aspects within you, the good and the bad. There's a picture of a moth here, and that kind of reminds me of the shadows, because moths are drawn to the light, but they come out at nighttime. And it's like you are like a moth, okay? Wow, this is cool. This is what I'm getting. So it's like you are recently, because of everything that's happened here, and then the way this person's seeing you here is, you can take the darkness and look for the light in the darkness, like a moth. you can be in this conflict, in the middle of this conflict here, in the eye of the needle, and you have a different perspective. You know, the needle of the eye of a needle is tiny. Well, most needles they're little bitty. They're hard to get that string through that hole because the hole's so small, you know. But you have the ability to be able to look through the smallest of places in the dark and see the light. So no matter what the situation is at hand, no matter how dark the situation gets at hand, you are able to see even the tiniest bit of good. And that's what this person sees in you the most, that they cherish the most in you, because that is a unique ability that you have, that not a lot of us are able to have that ability. A lot of us have tendencies that get us kind of stuck in the shadows. And it's not that we can't see the light. It's that for some of us, it's harder to have that higher perspective because of how much shadow is there, how much darkness is there, for us to be able to really pinpoint where that light is and why that light is there and what that shining light is supposed to bring us. But not you, not in this person's eyes. In this person's eyes, you have the ability to be in that shadow, even if you are the one that's in the middle of the storm. You still have the ability to see that shadow, even if it's tiny, tiny, tiny. I mean, that light. And move towards that light and make it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, so that you can take something, conflict here, situation here, that others would see as a challenge. You take that and you turn that into something that is meant for your highest good. You have the ability to turn that into purpose and meaning and understanding and lessons. And you can bring that out not only in yourself, but you help other people understand that as well. You help other people to see that thing as well. Which comes along with what I already said once. This person feels like you give a good advice. That's part of where they feel that's coming from there. So when this person's having negative thoughts come through their mind, or if they're in that darkness, they know that they always have you to go to help kind of pull them out of that darkness, to help kind of awaken them to a higher perspective, so that they can move forward and have that better, easier understanding of what loss took place here or what conflict took place here. And it's changing this person's mindset, okay, into being more awoken, having that breakthrough, that realization there, that not being in the murky water, you know, coming out of that and realizing that there's higher purposes here. Wow. I love where these readings are going. I mean, they are just very, very, very in depth. This is definitely a spiritual pile as well. You and this person is, you're almost like a spiritual teacher to this person when it comes to learning about lessons and learning about loving yourself and learning about positive thoughts and manifestation and creating inspired action and healing. Healing is a big, big part of this. Having that deep rest, giving yourself that time, having that renewal there, and have that understanding of you're better now because you made it through that murky water. And you have something to bring out of it it's like, oh, I just got the coolest. Okay, so it's like having a shell in the mud, okay? When you dig around in that murky water in the mud, right? There's a shell in there, just like in a tough situation. You dig and dig for that shell, and you finally find it. And when you pull that shell up out of the water and open it, there's a pearl in there. And that's the lesson. That's what gets you out of the pain. That's the beauty in the pain there. And you have the ability to find that. You have the ability to find that pearl. And this person sees that in you. And that is standing out so much to me in this reading, because that's the one thing that this person feels is so unique and different and unlike others. The way that you understand it is unlike the others, anyone around them, and they cherish that so much. They cherish that. They have so high regards to you because of that, and so much respect for you because of that. Oh man, I just saw 222 on the timer there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is going to get some of these, and these are going to tell us about how they kind of see this connection. Of course, I never know what's going to come out, so that's what I'm planning for. And then I wanted to tell you that, you know, this is kind of different, because I know when you get a reading on how this person sees you, you want to talk about your physical features or how they see you as a person, everything like that. But this is very in-depth about how they see you, which makes me believe that you and this person do have a close spiritual connection with one another, to where you learn from each other. You learn from each other. This person I don't feel like understands, but through knowing them, you have also been able to learn a lot through their experiences and the experiences they've shared with you. Okay, so let's see what... I feel like this is so much better than those physical features, right? Because this is actually explaining how this person really in depth really sees you, and really sees who you are, and really sees how you see things. And that's what they love about you, is how you see things. And they almost want to see things the same way you see things, because they admire that so much in you. Let's do one more. That's good. Well, that's 3. But they gave it to me. I'm going to take it. So y'all have way more cards. But there's 3 and 3 that came out, which makes me curious if they're trying to get me to separate these for some reason. So I'm going to keep that in mind. The first card that you have out here is Mirror. And I did notice there were a few cards here that came out also in pile. Oh gosh. Pile 1 or 2, I'm not sure. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it was pile 2 though. So Eye of the Needle. We have Mirror, who or what is triggering you. So this is part of this, this mirror here. Y'all two may actually mirror one another, but this is also part of this conflict here, okay? This is part of this conflict here. And what I'm getting from this is that this person feels like you are able to, almost when you have conflict, to hold up a mirror to yourself. That's that higher perspective that we talked about. You're able to hold up a mirror to yourself and see where you are being triggered and why that person's triggering you. Like, you're able to have that higher perspective to acknowledge these things when it takes place, especially when it pertains to your emotions and your foundation. And you're able to find the beauty out of it. You're able to pinpoint, put your hand literally on it, and find the beauty out of those triggers. Know that they're meant for something. Then you have the ever unfolding rose, which by the way is my favorite card. Cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. Wow, I think I actually said that in pile 2. This is part of this needle, okay? This is part of this needle. It's also kind of part of this empty well, this time to replenish, because this is all about that reflection of that cycle, and which is kind of like the rose, looks kind of like a cycle as well. But see how she's opening her arms up here? And it says, it's happening for you, not to you, because you have that reflection. You're able, like we said, this perspective that you have, you're able to reflect on that, to see that this is all happening for you and why it's happening to you. Like you're able to pinpoint all those things there. This also came out in pile 2, by the way. And it says no, wait, postpone, pause, and say no. And in pile 2, I think it came out under meditation, which is kind of the same thing that I'm getting here in a sense, because it is right underneath this winter's dream, which we talked about, you giving yourself that time that you need, that deep resting time that you need, and that this person sees this, that you're giving yourself the time that you need there. They recognize that. And it's like you have the ability to tell people no and take that pause, that break that you need. That's something else that they admire in you. I don't feel like you've always been this way, though. I don't feel like you've always been that way. I feel like this is a transformation that you've made in yourself. So I have to say, as far as this connection goes with this person, them being able to see all these things in you, the way that they're seeing them in you, they're having that mirror being held up to them as well. It's making them reflect more on their own life. Just one second. Okay, I'm sorry about that, guys. I had to turn that camera down. This is causing them to reflect on their own lives and causing them to kind of follow in your footsteps here. They're kind of trying to do things in the way you're doing. Like, I said that you're like their spiritual teacher. They see you as almost their spiritual teacher here. They're trying to understand it as well. You're helping this person to grow. You're helping this person to understand that things happen for them. They don't happen to them. They happen for them. They're lessons. You're helping this person to understand that it's okay to take that pause. It's okay to have that time to yourself to heal. Then we have unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. So it's right underneath this rest and renewal. This is another thing that your person sees you doing. They see you releasing patterns. We talked a lot about these cycles that we see here and breaking those cycles and healing from that, and then becoming a new, renewing yourself because of all that you went through. And this is part of that. This is that person seeing all that, releasing those soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. Like they see you as going through that process and releasing these people, or releasing these situations, or breaking through and having a new understanding within yourself so that you can become that better person and have this renewal. so that you're more able here to almost wear your heart on your sleeve, because you know and you believe in who you are authentically, and you love that person that you are. And this is so inspiring to this person. And this is something that draws them in when it comes to you. The way that you carry your emotions, this is something that I feel like this person's not good at. This person's not very good at being open when it comes to their emotions. So this person definitely, if they've opened up to you at all and told you how they felt about you, it's been in slow, small, steady steps, because this person has to build that trust, has to have that trust, because they protect their heart a lot. They've probably experienced things in the past, and that's one of the reasons they're attaching to you not attaching, but attaching to your perspective and the way that they are, is because you've probably also experienced a lot of things in your past that are painful and heartbreaking things that you've had to heal from. And they see that and they think, if this person can do this, and look who they are, look at the beauty that's come out of everything that they've learned and gained, I want to be able to do this myself. So they're mirroring that. They're trying to understand that things happen for you and not to you. They're trying to spend that rest time that they need. They're trying to understand that sometimes you have to release people and contracts and things out of your life that are toxic or aren't for your highest good. Okay. Transformation. Break the chain. Transformation and break the chain. Things are changing at a cellular level. Deep healing is part of that transformation. And break the chain is ancestral patterns, healing, rewriting the future. Yeah, this is what this person's learning. See, they're, like I said, they're learning just like you. They see you as learning to carry that heart on your sleeve, because you're strong-willed and able to be able to do that, because you understand yourself. You know that people only see things through their own pain, and that people do things that are a reflection of that pain and hurt, and not a reflection of who you are. You know who you are. That person sees all this, right? They see you breaking these chains. They see you in this healing. They see you rewriting your own future, having the ability to do that. And they want to do that. They want to do that. This transform is here. I didn't know why I had this last two cards out here, but I do know now. This transform is here. Okay. I just heard I needed to pull that card and look. This is the number, this says Herald of Change, which is also, about that transformation, and it's also the number 30, and 3 is all about that growth, right? There's also 3 people here on this releasing that contract or past lives here, and that might have something to do with it. Separating yourself. But what I'm getting here with this is that this person sees you going through this deep healing period and transforming, and it's causing them to do the same. They're mirroring you, okay? They're trying to pick up on things you're doing. They learn so much from you, and they see you and your connection as this potential, as this opportunity to better themselves, to learn and better themselves. And they're definitely doing that. They're understanding how to do this here. With this Herald of Change here, it's like with this horse and how there's just moving forward and just trying to figure out, that looks kind of like a mask right there. But they're moving forward here towards change. I mean, that horse is reared up and ready to go. It's about that growth, right? They're growing here. This person's growing. They may be recently trying to connect more with their intuition and their understanding. Let me give you my definition of what intuition is to me. Intuition to me is something that, you know, everybody believes in different things, and I respect everyone's belief, and I would never put my beliefs on anyone else. But the way that I describe it to myself is my intuition comes from our purpose and how God, the universe, or the higher divine chose us to do in this lifetime, to have that purpose. Our intuition is there to lead us in the right direction. That's what I feel our intuition is for. Just like when I read these cards and I use my intuition, my intuitive abilities to be able to read these cards, is because I have an understanding and I go with it, okay? And then I hope that whoever needs to hear the message is hearing the message and gaining some kind of clarity or some kind of peace because of that. This person is trying to develop that. They're trying to understand their intuition and how to follow that for their highest good, okay? They're trying to use that that's inside of them. It's different for everybody because we all have different purposes in this world. But all is the same, right? It's all about having that love for yourself so that you can have love for others. You can see others in a new way, in a higher way, in a selfless way. A selfless way. You know, we're taught to be selfless as kids. You know, go play with that kid. They need somebody to play with. Go help them do this or do that. You be selfless. Give yourself. Give your time. Give this. Give that. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just when it comes to our emotional aspect of it, who we are authentically inside, we need to be able to follow our intuition and be selfless when it comes to ourselves as well, so that we can have the ability and understanding to show that love to others. We need to have that understanding so that we can spread it, you know, spread it like wildfire. Our world needs it so bad, so bad. We can't just tell each other what we need to be doing, right? Because everybody's intuition is different. Everybody understands things differently because we all live in different lives. It's just about knowing that if we can understand ourselves better, then we can understand everyone else better. That's what intuition means for me. And that's what I feel like this person is trying to understand in this moment. And they're looking towards you to help them with that understanding. Okay? I'm sorry if I went on I feel like I went on a long rant about intuition, and I'm sorry if I did. And I hope that made sense, because that's just the message that came through. That's just what, I just say what I say in these readings. That's just the message that came through. So I hope it helped you in some way. And it wasn't just a long rant. But with this cave here, it's like this person's coming out of their cave now, right? They're breaking free of those chains. They're rewriting their future, and it's because of everything that they went through with you. And this is here, right here, and right here, because they have grown so much just by knowing you. And they're ready to move forward here. They're ready to take this journey. Okay? Okay, so now let's get some tarot. I'm just going to move these up. We're going to get a little more in depth about your actual connection with this person. Sorry, lady. I don't mean to have to cut her head off there. Okay. So you did choose the tarot deck that has the roses on it, and you actually got the rose card, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so you know, you don't have to just take what I say or whatever resonates with you. You don't have to believe everything that I say. You don't have to connect with everything that I say. I feel like I said, you know, everybody's intuition and stuff's different, and whatever you need to learn or need to know or need to have that understanding within yourself is meant for you to be able to experience what your purpose is in this life, okay? So, yeah. If we had all just let everybody just be ourselves, stop worrying about each other so much, I feel like the whole world would just be a better place. But that's a light worker's dream, right? That's weird. I just looked up and I saw a dream right here. Okay. Oh, that's weird. It's beginning to be very normal. Looky there. You have the sun. Okay, guys. Synchronicities. So you have the sun here, which is also on this card here. Look at how identical these look. So that's that clarity. So this person is, with this mirror here, being able to have that mirror there and you being able to have that higher perspective over things is giving this giving this person clarity when it comes to their own life. And it's also giving them joy. You give them harmony and peace, right? It's one of those goes along with them, you being like their spiritual teacher here. Okay, we just had a whole story pop out. Can't wait to read it. It's a lot of cards, okay? We have the 9 of Materials. I don't know what I'm going to do with all these cards. 9 of Materials. So that's about, the 9 of Materials is about having that, meeting that milestone, okay? Having that abundance there. You have the 6 of Swords in reverse. So that talks about having that baggage, carrying that baggage. Or it also talks about resisting a change. And I feel like this person with this, it's cracked open, it's happening for you, not to you. What I'm getting from this is that this person realizes in order to step into their abundance, they have to stop resisting change here, okay? Stop thinking about unfinished business and stop carrying all the baggage from the past. Like, they recognize here that goes with this, like, everything happens for them for a reason, and they need to take that time to replenish that and have that reflection over everything. This is something that they've learned in this connection. And then you have the 4 of Materials in reverse, which for me, the 4 of Materials in reverse talks about that, having that, it talks about a breakdown of foundation to me, but it also talks about having that self-protection, okay? And then you have the Queen of Cups next to it, which is that nourishment. So this one also, look at all these roses on, look at this. I just realized that every one of these cards right here have roses on them. Isn't that funny? Okay. So what I'm getting from this here, and then you have the 10 of, let's just go ahead and pull this out because you have the 10 of Swords in reverse, which is about recovery here. So what's going on here is that this person realizes that in order to gain their abundance, like I said, in order to have that milestone there, and this is a milestone for them, by the way, having this recognition, they need to have that reflection and stop carrying the past with them. Stop resisting change here. And with this breakdown of this foundation, of this stability here, they're protecting themselves because they're in this Queen of Cups energy, which is about that healing. right? They are with that empty well and the Four of Pentacles in reverse. It's like they know that they have to be greedy when it comes to their emotions here, their healing time here, in order to recover from a closing out of a cycle, in order to recover from this pain, right? Because upright, the Ten of Swords is about that painful ending, or that loss. And with you, they recognize all this stuff here, this wanting this abundance and resisting, but still resisting change, and then having this protection or being greedy when it comes to their time on healing and reflecting on themselves, giving themselves that time that they need. They know they have to be in this recovery here. Like, they understand all this, why things happen to them, why things happen for them. Do you see? Like, they're starting to understand the difference there. Okay, so let's see what else we got. Really? You're gonna do me like that, huh? Really? Really? These are why my readings are so long. I just can't not take them. Because the cards come out, and then you see the cards, and automatically I immediately start developing an understanding of that in my head, and then I can't put the card back. Okay, so we're just gonna make room. But I feel like this is gonna be the finish of this spread here. So we have the Emperor. So that's that part of you and them, because y'all are mirroring each other, reflection of one another here. Taking that time that you need. Being in control of your resting period here. Being in control of having that pause, that break to yourself. No matter who's around, okay? All these people, you and them both are like in control here of your ability to rest and recoup. And you have the Three of Wands in reverse. So the Three of Wands in reverse talks about that, having that, playing it small, okay? Doing things in small steps, which I feel like that's what this person is feeling like. Like, this person's trying to do things in small steps. And that's part of that is this releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. They're trying to have that rest time and that renewal time so they can do that process in small steps. And then you have the Ten of Cups, which is that emotional fulfillment. It's about that wholeness, which is part of that renewal here. Feeling that emotional wholeness. This spread is about what you and this person are both going through at this moment. Then you have the Devil, which is about that attachment. And underneath that, you have break the chain. Literally break the chain. And there's a butterfly. Oh my gosh, okay. Sorry, I get excited. There's a butterfly here, right? And above that you have, okay, sorry. Let me just show you what I'm talking about here. Transformation, which the butterfly is about transformation, right? Moving through the store here. Oh my gosh, and look at this. Okay, hold on just a second. Look at this, guys. So you have the butterfly right here, which she is a butterfly, by the way. And it talks about transformation. Butterflies are about that transformation, right? They go from being a caterpillar and being on the ground to being a beautiful butterfly and being able to fly above. And that's what's going on here with you and this person. And I feel like this connection too. All of this is growth in this connection, spiritually. And then look at the cave here. Do you see this cave right here? And it's the devil, so it's that that shadow self, that attachment. And it's like this person and you are both transforming out of this energy, out of this shadow self, like we talked about with the moth. And look at this card, coming out of that cave, breaking the chain. You see, there's the cave. It looks like almost just like this one. Isn't that crazy? So crazy. Love it. Love it. Okay, and then, wait for it. So here you have, something may have happened between you and this person. If they see you as this Queen of Cups, which I feel like that's how they see your energy, which is she's very intuitive and healing, and it could be a he, she, compassionate. That's how they see you overall as a person. And with this Four of Pentacles in reverse, which I was kind of struggling to pull the meaning from that. With that here, now that I have these cards, I can understand. This could be you, okay? And with this Four of Pentacles being in reverse, it could be them having that, trying to have that, how do I explain this? Trying to have that protection, kind of keeping themselves less opened up to you in the way that they would like to. Okay? Let me tell you why I'm saying that. It's because we have the King of Cups here. So that's counterparts, guys. And with the King of Cups, it's like, look at this King of Cups, by the way. It's a mirror image of one person, and they're both drinking something out of a bowl. And there's a boat underneath it that's moving towards a starfish, which stars about those hopes and wishes. And I feel like you're both drinking out of each other's cup here. You're both helping one another. And then all your emotions are coming out. And you're moving with the boat here. You're moving towards this wish fulfillment. And look. Look at that. So you have the Four of Wands, which pile 2, I think, also had the Four of Wands at the end of their spread, which is that union. It's that union. It's that homecoming. It's that harmony. It's that celebration. And then you have the Wheel in reverse right next to that. And that's that breaking of those cycles. And we talked a lot about cycles here in the beginning. And down here especially, it talks a lot about cycles. It talks about releasing soul patterns that unbound, contracts and past lives, and break the chains. Ancestral patterns, healing, and rewriting the future. So what I'm getting from this right here, as this is what I see for you guys, for the two of you here. You and this person, the King and Queen of Cups, this union that y'all have together, this connection that y'all share with one another, is breaking chains, is breaking cycles. You and this person together are breaking cycles in each other's lives. Wow. Okay, so I know this reading, y'all have actually gone on a little while. It might have been due to my long rant that I had. But, I mean, you know, you don't have to watch the whole thing. But have some good news for you guys. Since it's been a day, yesterday I got some new cards and I haven't used them yet. And since this reading was extra long, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that for y'all. And I'm gonna get some of these too. So let me open this up here. So this is like some messages from your person here. This is the Hidden Truth Oracle. Brand spanking new, guys. Have not used them yet. So if y'all stuck around this long, this is your treat. Okay, so we want to know what Spirit's advice is for you. What Spirit's advice is for pile 3. What is Spirit's advice for pile 3? Too much advice. Not sure. Okay, that worked. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to read these, okay? If I see any synchronicities, I'll let you know. I release all fear, guilt, and anger. I'm safe, and I am at peace with the process of life. This is the energy that you make your person feel, okay? The universe is filled with endless opportunities for me. And once again, this is the energy that you and your person feel in this connection with one another. I am mindful at all times and live only within each moment I have. Being in the present there. I am safe to be my true authentic self, which is a very, very most important lesson that you have taught this person here. And what you seek is seeking you. Not only you and this person, but your purpose, okay? Your purpose. Okay, so, ooh, they shuffle really well. I like it. I did shuffle these yesterday, but not like sitting at my table doing it like this. I just shuffled them out of the box. Okay, so this is gonna, oh, come on. This is gonna kind of show what your person feels, okay? What they feel that they have not expressed. And they haven't expressed anything to you is because they're learning to let their heart out, okay? They're learning. Something that you've actually taught them. Did you see that? These are things that your person wants, like I said, wants to express to you that they, okay, fine, it wants to come out. That they feel like, let's do one more. That they feel like they just can't say just yet, okay? Okay. Stop that. So, first card out is, you are the best thing in my life. And your person really does feel that way because like we've been saying, your person admires you. They see you as their spiritual teacher. I regret lying to you. Yeah. So this person might be in this energy of, that's one of the things that they're trying to let go of the past. Wow, I just got something. Okay, you know how we had that Four of Pentacles and I was kind of having a hard time with that Four of Pentacles being there in reverse next to that Queen of Cups? What I just heard here is that with this I regret lying to you, this person actually might have said a lie to you in order to protect themselves. So I think that has a lot to do with honesty. You may have questioned this person, possibly pertaining to your connection here and how they felt about your connection and the way that you see this connection. And they have may have responded in a way that was kind of disheartening to you because it, what your intuition was telling you was not the way this person responded. This person may have responded as it not being a big deal, or as it not believing in it like you believe in it, or something that this person said here, and they regret that. They weren't being honest when they did that. What they did here is they were in that self-protection mode. They were trying to protect themselves because they weren't ready to face it, and they didn't understand this connection as much as they do now. I don't react when people mention you. Yeah. So this is part of the way that they respect you so much, if there's any kind of, with that conflict there, and I kept seeing that three people, if this person was also part of that conflict and they hear a lot about you, or things that people say, they don't respond. Okay, they don't react when people say stuff about you, because they have so much respect for you and they know who you are authentically, and they wouldn't react like that. I love you. Which this person does, by the way. I'm so attracted to you. Yeah, they are. They're very attracted to you because you're unlike anything that they've been around. Whoa. I feel you leaving me behind. Yeah, because they do feel like you are, and there's 10:10 on the clock. They feel like you are transforming yourself further than, okay, well, that, they wanted to come out. Further than where they are, right? They feel like you are above them in your journey, and they do feel like you kind of leave them behind. Sometimes they, like, they're not there yet. You know, we go through this journey and stages of understanding, and sometimes we feel like we understand this one thing in a certain way, and then later we completely see it in a new light. And I feel like that's kind of the feeling that this person's getting. I bury myself into work to forget about you. Yeah, this person probably does something in their daily life to try to get their mind off of you, because you are on their mind so much that it, to the point to where it almost bothers them. So they try to find things to invest in to occupy their mind here. And then I lost myself for a little while. Yeah. So if you were in some kind of, this person was in some kind of isolation away from you, it has to do with them taking that time that they need, and that's something that they've learned from you. So if you have any kind of feeling about them pulling their energy back from you, that's simply because they needed to take some time for themselves to have a better understanding of what exactly is going on here in this connection, because it's intense, because of the feelings they have for you and the way that they feel about you when they see you. Whew. Okay, guys. Oh, perfect timing. Sorry, guys. Okay, so we were finished anyways, right? So I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it made sense. It was kind of different, you know. I'm gonna have to title this one something about spiritual connections, because they were all spiritual connections, which sometimes spirit just wants to bring forward that message, and it's what you needed to hear. So yeah, I hope it resonated. If it did, can you leave me a comment or a message or something and let me know, because it helps me to be able to understand, like in my reading, the energy of, you know, the energy of y'all will help me to understand more in this reading. But yeah, and it also helps me to kind of verify that, you know, the messages that are coming through are meant for someone, and yeah, that everything's the way that it's supposed to be here. So anyway, so hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again. Thanks, Pile 3. Bye.